Today for science, we are going to talk about the sun and other stars. But first, let's review what our solar system is and the fact that the sun is at the center of our solar system. What are some of the things that we see when we look into the sky? We see the sun, we can see the moon at night, sometimes during the day, and yes, we see stars. Do all of these things make their own light? They don't. They do not make their own light. Only the sun and stars are able to make their own light. But, Mrs. Smith, the moon looks like it's a light in the sky at night. Sometimes at night the moon is even really bright. Did you know that the moon only appears to be lit? It looks like that because it's reflecting light from the sun. Do you remember what the sun is? That's right, it's a star. Now, what is a star? Maybe you're looking on page 184 and you are seeing that a star is a ball of burning gas. But what does that provide for us? What does that ball of burning gas give us? Well, it gives us energy and the light and heat that we need. Not just they're necessary, we need that light and that heat for our life on Earth. The sun is the largest object in our solar system. It looks bigger than any other star. That's because it is much closer to Earth than any other star. But if we were to compare it with other stars in the universe, the funny thing is the sun is actually just a medium-sized star. It's because it is so much closer to us. The sun is so important for Earth. It is Earth's main source of energy. The sun gives us light during the day, and we've talked about how plants use that for energy during photosynthesis, how they make their food. The sun also affects our weather as it heats the air and causes the air to move. People use the sun's energy for heat and power. We use it so much now too. Solar panels are on homes, they're in parking lots. We see solar panels everywhere. We are using the sun's energy. At night, you can usually see many dots of light in the sky. We call those stars. Sometimes the planets also appear as tiny dots of light. But most of the dots of light that you see are stars. Right now, you can see Venus when you look up at the sky. Usually it's pretty close to the moon, and it's a really bright star that you see before the sky gets really dark. Maybe check it out tonight and see if you can see it. When we observe stars and planets, throughout history, shapes of animals, people, and other objects have been seen in the stars. Many of these patterns in the sky are what we call constellations. Constellations are similar to these dot-to-dot pictures that you see over here. You might have seen the Big Dipper. That one's pretty common. We really like the Big Dipper. It's usually quite easy to spot because it's such a large constellation. But its pattern is part of a larger constellation. People have been studying the stars since Bible times. The people who study the stars and planets are called astronomers. For a long time, people thought that on clear nights, the stars that they saw were the only stars in the universe. But then in 1610, an astronomer named Galileo, okay, can you say that? Spelled a little funny, but his name is Galileo, used a telescope for the very first time to look at the night sky. And when he did that, he saw stars that no one had ever seen before. Let's talk about meeting this scientist down here. Lyman Spitzer Jr. In 1946, Lyman Spitzer Jr. suggested putting a telescope in space. He thought a telescope above the Earth's atmosphere would get better images. And then in 1990, the Hubble Space Telescope was launched into space. Spitzer had worked on it for more than 15 years. He stayed active in astronomy until his death in 1997. In 2003, a new space telescope was launched. It is called the Spitzer Space Telescope, and it was launched in his honor. We still use telescopes today. A telescope is a tool that is used to see objects that are very far away. We can use it to study objects in space. Most telescopes are long tubes with curved pieces of glass and mirrors, and these glass or mirrors are on the inside. The glass and mirrors cause faraway objects to appear closer. Astronomers use telescopes to learn many things about the planets and stars. And computers record data from telescopes. The data helps astronomers learn about the universe. What do astronomers do? That's right. They study our universe to learn more about it. New planets have been discovered outside of our solar system. Just recently in the news, there was a planet that might be kind of similar to ours. It even has an atmosphere. It's really, really far away and not a part of our solar system, but it's out there. And scientists and astronomers are studying it to see what they can learn about other places and things outside of our solar system. All right, let's go ahead and review what we just read. If you don't have out in front of you workbook page 157, go ahead and get that out now. All right, let's get started. Number 1, an object in the sky that produces its own light is called a what? Did you think it was sun? Remember, if you flip back in your book, we see that a star is the object that produces its own light. So flip back, an object in the sky that produces its own light is called a star. What is the largest object in our solar system? Excellent, yes. The largest object in our solar system is the sun. What is Earth's main source of energy? Remember, energy comes from light, and we get the energy, the plants get the energy, we even harness this energy using solar panels. Our main source of energy here on Earth is the sun. Plants use the sun's energy for what? This is the process plants use to produce food. Do you remember what it is? Excellent work. Exactly. It's photosynthesis. Photosynthesis. Kind of a big word there. People can use the sun's energy for light, this, and power. Think about what the sun does on a warm day. You lay out in the sun and you get hot. So the sun's energy is producing light and power and, great job, heat. Gets pretty warm. Number 6, a group of stars that forms a pattern in the sky is called this. Great job. I knew you'd know that one. A constellation. Scientists who study stars and planets are called this. Great job. Astronomer. Astronomers. Maybe that's something you want to look into in your future. If you are fascinated by planets and stars and this science unit is just really, really interesting for you, you might want to look into becoming an astronomer one day. The astronomer who first used a telescope was who? Great job, Galileo. And number 9, a tool that is used to see objects far away is called a telescope. And these don't have to be super huge telescopes. They make telescopes for kids as well. You can get a smaller telescope and set it up in your backyard and see what else you can find out there. Maybe you can find a few different constellations. Maybe you can even take a closer look at the moon. The astronomer who suggested putting a telescope in space was Lyman, not quite exactly sure. I do know, however, that his last name is Spitzer. And what do we call this constellation right here? This guy. Great job, exactly. That is the Big Dipper. All right, great job today, guys. I look forward to talking to you more about our solar system, the stars, and the planets on Friday.